Greetings and salutations. So good to be with you all one more time. I am Jay Gideon Winfrey, licensed therapist, and this is another episode of Sound Mind. Thank you so much for the support. Thank you for the blessings. Thank you for the feedback. It has been a tremendous blessing to work and walk with you all up until this point, and to see God continue to do what he does in our lives individually and collectively. As you see, we're in a little different background today because we are introducing what the set will look like for season 6. So thank you so much for the support. Obviously, they're going to keep me around for another season. So thank you all so much for your support and for the blessings. So we wanted to just give you all kind of a peek into what we're going to be doing in season 6 and how different it's going to look, because there's so much that we have that we're going to be doing, so much we're going to be continuing to talk about regarding sound mind and sound doctrine. So let's go ahead and jump in for today. Now, I'm excited about this one today because this one is something that the Lord really convicted me from a sense of utilizing psycho-spiritual integration. And today what we're going to talk about is the psychology of taking up your bed and walking. Again, the psychology of taking up your bed and walking. Now, we're going to use, as we always do with Sound Mind, we're going to use the sacred backdrop, and we're going to transfer it into the secular. That's what we do here at Sound Minds. We believe in blending the two because, like we say all the time at Sound Mind, we want to have conversation that's going to lead to conviction, because once we have conviction, then we're going to have conversion. And that's what we're about, conversion and change, and making sure that we actually have the tools to improve the quality of life in our relationships in every aspect possible, okay? So let's set the backdrop here. So let's go to our New Testament textbook, and we're going to go to John 5, 1 through 15. Now, this is one of the many miracles that Jesus performed, but this one just really stands out because there's such a psychology here when you look at this particular miracle that Jesus performed. Now, most of us, even if we're not constant attendees of church, you all know about the man literally who took up his bed and walked, but there was such clinical relevance in that I just had to pull it out for our Sound Mind family. So I want to go through that and just show you the psychology of taking up your bed and walk, okay? So the backstory is this. There's a big Jewish festival that goes on, so there was a lot of people that was there, okay? And at this particular Jewish festival, there was this body of water that people believed that if they could get to the water, they would be healed. Well, there was an individual that had spent 38 years laying on his bed, or 38 years on his mat, okay? And the interesting thing that I saw as I was reading the scripture and how it translated into sound doctrine as far as the clinical approach and therapeutic approach is that when they identified the individuals who came to this particular pool, it was 4 types of individuals. And I want to talk about those 4 types of individuals because these are individuals that we are and also individuals that we see. So as I identify these 4 types of individuals that were at this pool, I want us to be able to think about not just people in our lives, but then asking ourselves the question, being honest and transparent, is this one of the dynamics that I deal with as an individual? Because it's not just about projecting criticism or insight regarding other people, but we also want to look at ourselves, because the best work we can do is self-work, okay? So the 4 types of individuals that were at this particular pool waiting to be healed, the first type of individual was the disabled individual. And I got my notepad here because I wanted to make sure that I didn't miss anything, so I'm going to pick it up to just make certain that I give you all the details that I was given, because I want to give it to you in its authenticity. So the first type of person that was identified, as I said, was the disabled individual, okay? When we talk about the disabled individual, we're talking about individuals who are unable to use what they have because they once had it or never had it. Think about that when we think about being disabled. Disabled can come in a lot of different ways, emotionally and spiritually. It could be because of an experience, something happened, and all of a sudden that love and that care and that compassion that we had, all of a sudden we lose it because now we're emotionally disabled. Or what if we were in an environment where we never had the opportunity to learn it, so therefore we never had it. So there's a disabling that happens. So that was the first individual that was there, was the disabled individual. So let's ask ourselves the question, am I disabled in some way, shape, or form? How is my compassion? How is my consideration? How is my attitude? Did I once have a pleasant attitude, and because something happened, some accident, something that I wasn't necessarily looking forward to, but life happened and all of a sudden I lost it. I became disabled. Or what kind of environment have I been in since my time on this earth? Was I in an environment where it was nurtured? Did I see it? Was it demonstrated? Did I never have it at all and I'm disabled from that capacity? The beautiful thing and the blessing about being disabled is this. When you're disabled, we all have a law that we know about in our government, the American with Disabilities Act. And what the American with Disabilities Act says is that accommodations have to be made to give people who are disabled the same access as everyone else. That's where our faith comes in at. That's where our compassion for others comes in. Basically, what we're saying is no matter what your disability, you still have a right to have accessibility to the things that are going to give you that balanced life. So there still is a way for healing to take place if you recognize what your disability is. But the second individual that was also at the pool was the individual that was blind. So by definition, what we have for blind is they're unable to see because they were either born that way or something made them that way. So it sounds a